Welcome to 2021. I'm so glad we got through the past year. 2020 was about just passing time. Maybe you got more into cooking, picked up some new hobbies, watched your favorite streaming shows, and without a doubt, games. Games helped us get through each day. It allows us to escape into a world of fantasy. And now that we're here in 2021, we have so many options. What games should we play? And so this is where I'm going to tell you about Marvel Strike Force, which is my main game, and 10 reasons why you should play Marvel Strike Force in 2021. Now, this video is geared toward newer players, but it's also really valuable information for people who currently play the game because it's providing a nice perspective on aspects of the game that might make you appreciate the game a little bit more. So with that said, let's get into it. Alright, so this list is not in any particular order. It's just 10 observations I've made when playing this game for the past 2.5 years. So this game released in March 2018, and I've played a lot of games, specifically gacha hero collector games. So I definitely have played a lot of different games. I know what I like, what I don't like. And if you're looking to this game, it's been out for 2.5 years. You might ask yourself, maybe you should, do you want to play a game that's been out this long? Do you want to play more newer games? But I'm here to tell you that despite this game being out for that long, it's still the best game on the market for me. At least the best hero collector game. But I'm definitely enjoying this game so much. I've been playing for so long, and I'm going to continue playing it for a long time. So let's get into the list. Let's start off with one reason why you should play this game. The Marvel intellectual property. This is such a big deal for you to play this game because playing a game that has an IP like Marvel, it's what keeps you playing the game for a long time. There are times when the game may feel stale, shallow, you're getting bored of it, but it's hard to let go because people are just so attached to the IP. I love Marvel. I grew up with the X-Men cartoon shows. I grew up collecting all the toys in mint condition, and I watched all the MCU films. So Marvel is very strong. There's just a lot of iconic characters that back up this game, and it's just so cool to be able to see all my favorite superheroes and supervillains in the mobile game that I play. So just being able to be part of this universe is really cool. I'll just scroll through it, and you can just see there's so many iconic characters. Maybe you recognize these characters, maybe you don't. Some of the characters, they kind of base off the comics, and some they base off the MCU Marvel films. But yeah, so I really like that. And I'd say, out of all the Marvel games out there on the market for mobile, there's some MOBAs, there's some other hero collectors, there's more action-oriented ones. But without a doubt, this is the best hero collector for Marvel on the market. So let's talk about a second reasons why you should play this game. It is very, very free-to-play friendly. Now, if you look at the top of the screen, you'll see there's different currency. You'll have gold, power cores, which is the main premium currency, and then you have energy and other kind of resources. But the main thing is that, so I'll talk about this while we scroll the offers. You have offers in the game. You can spend money to purchase things like new characters. You can buy more resources to progress in the game faster. But bottom line is that this game is generous in the sense that you can be a player that doesn't spend any money, but they have so many events and they release games over time where you can get these same things as people who spend money, but it just takes time. So some people think the game is pay to win, and each person you talk to will have a definition of what pay to win is. For me, pay to win is if you can only buy something with real money that you can't get in the game anyway, or they will never release at all. So, like I said, just now that you'll see these resources. They'll have new characters like Yelena Belova coming out pretty soon. But those who buy the offer right now get it, and rightfully they deserve to get it right now. It's something new, shiny, you'll be able to show it off. But they're going to have her Blitz event come in the coming weeks, so that's going to be available to anyone. And I guess in comparison, I've seen this one mobile game that is pay to win because all their big offers and some really key resources are only available if you spend money. There's no way to earn premium currency like power cores up there and get those resources. So in that definition, that is pay to win. So I don't think this game is that pay to win. Okay, So a third reason why you should play this game is because there's just so many frequent updates. There's so many different events in this game. Whether they're events, right? Like right now, there's kind of a lull because it's the holidays. But then they had an update where they did lots of events coming out, more sales, especially new characters. So it's really hard to keep up with characters. Like let's say I'm an endgame player, so I'm really focusing on key characters in my roster. But then this team that runs the game is so active that like we currently have these characters from the Black Widow movie. They're being released, but I'm currently trying to work on other characters. And then once I get around to those characters, then they'll come out with the Astonishing X-Men and other characters down the road. And so they're very, very active. They have a very aggressive schedule of new characters releases and events and new features, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing when they're constantly rolling out new content. It just keeps people so engaged, and so they do a really good job making the game feel alive, constantly alive. Okay, so let's talk about the graphics animation that this game has to offer. And this is what's going to make this game really appealing for a long time, is because over time, over the years, you might see the quality of the graphics and animations and just the polish of the game dwindle just as technology gets better. But this game is so beautiful to look at. Like that's just one, like if you ask people in the community what's some of the coolest things about Marvel Strike Force, it looks so good. So let me actually jump into a battle and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and choose this fight right here. Actually, yeah, I'll go ahead and choose this fight or this team because I think the characters I chose have a really good selection of the graphics and their animations. So we have Dr. Octopus, Ant-Man, Magneto, Ghost Rider, and Mysterio. So let me go ahead and just initiate a battle and I'll show you. Actually, sorry. I'm actually on simulation right now. Let me go ahead and unsimulate that and I'll show you the gameplay. So everything looks really, really good. All the animators and the artists put so much work into making the characters come alive. And you really see this when you put the game on 1x speed, which I'm going to do. Normally I play the game on 3x speed, but just to show you it. Just look at that. Look at the characters come in. The fire from Ghost Rider's cycle, Magneto and his magnetic force. So yeah, right now I have Ghost Rider's turn. Just check him out. Just check out his cycle attack. Gets on his bike, just like zooms through the map and comes back and all the flames are burning. Really strong. And while I'm showing you this, I'm just gonna highlight. I'll do Dr. Oct special. Next time I do an attack, just look at the animation when my allies hit their opponent or when they attack me, because this game does a really good job at making attacks feel very impactful. Now that's really important. A lot of games don't do this. A lot of games fail at making attacks feel impactful. It just makes you feel like I feel great every time I just throw like a canister of metal at the opponent. It's really a satisfying feel. Some games, you'll just see them walk across the screen and they'll take a staff and be like, yeah. And it just doesn't feel great, And here goes Ant-Man's ultimate. He just grows up, and this is just all paying tribute to the MCU. It really captures the essence of these characters, and they do a really great job of that. And this one's actually probably the last one I'm going to show you. It's just really cool. Mysterio just going into his illusion format and just hitting everyone. So yeah, I really wanted to showcase how great a job the animators and the graphic artists do on this game. So, okay, great. So let me go ahead and just get out of that. And then we'll talk more about the next part. So let's talk about the fifth reason why you should play this game in the coming year or in this year is the energy simulation. So what is energy sim or energy simulation? So we have all these different campaign nodes, right? And then on the top of my screen, you'll see the yellow lightning bolt. That's how much energy I have. So I can accumulate energy over time, and this allows us to complete these campaign nodes where you complete the node, you get character shards, you get gear, experience gold, a lot of different resources. So normally you would press the fight and spend 20 of that energy, and then you'll have to play the battle like I just showed you, and then it'll complete. You can put on full auto, but you still have to spend some time doing it. But this game allows you to auto win the campaign node. So I'll be able to click auto win. I'll spend that 20 energy, it reduces it from my total energy, and you're done. Like, so I think a lot of people who play this game and don't play other games, they're used to it, right? But this is a huge deal. It's such a huge deal because it allows me to spend all my resources that I gain over time with minimal time invested in this game. And the reason why this is probably one of the biggest reasons why I like this game, because I played Summoner's War a long time ago. Probably one of the biggest, it was a really big gacha game. And it's a game where there isn't an auto win button like this. Like, for the most part, you had to spend all the energy, do all the fights, and then the problem is that they were quite generous with all the energy they gave you. They gave you lots of energy for events and everything, and just rewards and gifts. But I was not able to keep up with spending all the energy because of how much time it take to jump into the battle. Even though you can full auto, you had to do that. There was no way to auto complete the whole node and use up all the energy. So and because I wasn't able to use up all the energy, I didn't really feel efficient with the game. You know, I felt that I was lacking behind everyone who played when I started because I wasn't making use of all my resources. So this is such a big deal that I can just use up all my energy and still feel like I can be competitive with the same wave of people that played when I played. So that is a really, really big deal. You know, just go ahead and just, you know, that's how it works. You know, you just press the button and then you spend your campaign energy to go about that. So let's talk about the just the way we play this game. Is that a lot of this game, this is the sixth reason, you can play this game on full auto a lot. I'll go ahead and just I don't know if I have a game I want to play. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do this while we're doing this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and just jump in with the mercenaries. Yeah, this is the gamma raid that's going on. So this is a raid that we're doing. And when, like, my roster is strong enough, all my characters are really strong, I've been playing the game for so long, put so many resources into these characters, when this fight starts, I can put it on auto, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to ×3 speed. I'm able to put the game on moto, and then I can do whatever I want. I can go, I need to stay here, though, but, like, you don't have to, like, be attentive to this game. Like, I don't need to use both my hands to play this game constantly. Like, all the characters are set to do their actions. They'll be using their ultimate first and their special and their basic. But there's some games where you can't do that, you know? Like, you need to use two hands. Maybe it's like an RPG or an MMORPG, and you need your left thumb to move your character. You need your right thumb to control all the skills and abilities, and you're just glued to your phone. And sometimes, like, with those games, I feel like if you're like that, why not just play like a computer game? You know, you have a bigger screen, it's just better for your eyesight. But with this game, you know, I can, like, you know, with what I just did, I could, like, wash the dishes, I could take a dump and wipe my butt while pushing the game on full auto, you know, and I can, like, watch TV and just press full auto and just, like, let it go. So I just like that the game is kind of hands off, and it has the right balance of doing it. You know, there's some games where the whole thing is full auto, and just, like, what's the point, you know? There's some games that are manual, and it's too much time. But Marvel Strike Force does find the right balance between playing the games on manual and full auto. Alright, so we're going to get into the seventh reason why you should play this game. The gear system. I really like the gear system in this game. Let's go ahead and just click on Red Skull. So right away, you see the three slots on each side of him. You have, let's go ahead and click one. So now this is the full gear that you need to collect all the gear pieces, and then when you craft it together, you're going to create the superior metabolic glands. And then you go ahead and click on all these gear pieces, click on this one, I'll click find, and this tells me where you can find this gear piece. You know, you can find it in those offers, you can find it in the campaign nodes, and it really helps hold my hand to show me where I need to go. So I really like this gear system because, you know, once again, comparing it to other gacha or hero collector games, you know, there's games where you can manually equip certain pieces, I think, let's say Final Fantasy is a good example. There's some Final Fantasy mobile games where you find like a dagger with +5 strength or boots with +10 agility, and then you just mix and match, you know, and then there's guides of like optimal gear to put into it. And that's cool. That's great if you love lots of options. But there's a point where too many options with customization can get just mind-numbing. Like, it's just like it's like going to Subway And you're like, yes, you could get all the sandwich with all these different toppings, but at the end of the day, I just want a number one and number two. Like I just want you to do the work for me, without a lot of options. And so this is a good balance between, me not having to worry about like me equipping a certain gear on Red Skull. Like, 'cause, like, let's say I don't do the research and I equip a gear on him with plus 10 boots of agility or strength or dexterity, but there's maybe a better optimal build. So at least this way it's more fair. Everyone's be getting the same gear, and I just like that you can know where to farm this gear from. So I really like this gear system. Let's go ahead and get into eighth reason why you should play this game, and that's because every character in this game is impactful. Every character has a role, and then as you play some of the different campaign nodes, some nodes only allow hero characters, villain characters, cosmic characters, and then when you do rage, you can only use symbiotes or mutants or defenders. But then you have characters that are just trash. They're old. They have been power crept by newer characters, which you'll see actually at the bottom of my roster here. Well, they're actually the minion type characters, and they were released when the game first released, and they're actually pretty bad. But they still have a role. Like, I guess their role is in Blitz. You're doing a Blitz up to tier 8. You need just trash characters to throw in. You need 5 characters to reset the Blitz tier. So I could still use these really bad characters to use just to reset the Blitz tier. And there's other mobile games where you have hero collectors, and they're just characters that they're so old, they're so outdated in their stats and their build that you just don't use them anymore. And there's nothing you can do with them. So at least in this game, every character has a purpose, even if you're just using it to reset the Blitz tier. So I like that feeling. And a ninth reason why you should play the game is this game does not have a lot of technical issues in terms of maintenance. Like, I played a lot of games, like maybe not mobile games, but a lot of computer games, well, especially MMORPGs, and there's just random server issues that happen, and the server goes down and everything, the server goes down for hours at a time. Engineers have to go on and fix the game. But this game has been really, really good. There hasn't been that many issues where the game just randomly goes down. They have maintenance whenever they have a new update, which takes place maybe every couple weeks. And when they do have maintenance, the game is down for, I don't know, a couple hours. But they're pretty consistent, I've been part of teams that have, had horrible things happen. Maintenance ends up going for, 18 hours, and everyone's mad and pissed off when the game comes back on. It takes a long time for people to get back into the game. So they're pretty competent at hosting maintenance and making sure we can play the game for as long as we want to. And so the last reason, 10th reason why you should play Marvel Strike Force in 2021 is the developers, Scopely, are very good with feedback. They take our feedback and they're generous with compensation. Let me go into those 2 points. So they're open to feedback. So we have Reddit is the main way for the players to communicate with their community managers. The Reddit is known to voice their negative feedback on things they don't like, and they're pretty good with really reaching out to us and taking our feedback into consideration to make changes, or at least changes in the future for those game features. I'll give one example. ISO 8. ISO 8 is let me actually open up one of these characters. So this is ISO 8, and this is a game feature that we feared for a long time. People were comparing this to a rune system. Once again, I'll use Summoner's War as an example. In that game, you would have these slots, and you would choose runes that give you different stats. There were set bonuses, and then you'd have to spend gold to equip runes, de-equip runes, move them around. And it just was so that was an example where customization just goes too far. It just becomes way too mind-numbing to keep track of this. So, and also speed, the speed was a way that you can make characters act really fast, when that was kind of against their original build. So they took all that feedback into consideration and make sure it wasn't like a rune system. And the developers did a great job. They did lots of different play tests, and this is our current version of ISO 8. We basically have 5 different slots where we can farm different ISOs from the campaign nodes. We can equip them together, and they add some stat bonuses. There's different bonuses like Fortifier, where you spawn and then you get more armor. or Striker, which does more damage. And it doesn't feel that the impact is that strong that it really just breaks the game. So that was a great example of how the developers took the time to implement our feedback and make sure that we really like this feature. And then the second part of this, the part I was going to talk about, was just being generous with compensation. Like, gosh, like every time like there's a major bug, or even there's like a mediocre bug, or a glitch or technical issue, like I'm surprised that Scopely has been pretty generous with sending out a mail of compensation with the assortment of items to people, just saying sorry. This issue happened. Thank you for your understanding and appreciation. Here's some goodies. And that's pretty cool, because I've seen other games, maybe I've been part of some, where some things happen in the game, technical issues, like things go down, or maybe there's some feature that people don't like, and sometimes it's just, like that's how it is. But Scopely has been pretty good with just, being very rewarding, and if we're like the community is unhappy, something like compensation might just make us happier, just make us feel like, okay, this thing happened, like there was this bug that was an inconvenience, but at least we got some rewards out of it, so hopefully people don't set up to expectations. Every time there's some issue that happens in the game, they expect rewards, but more often than not, I'm actually quite surprised that they're pretty good with compensation. So yeah, all right, everyone. So yeah, that's it. Those are my top 10 reasons why you should play Marvel Strike Force in 2021. I hope this shed a light on parts of the game that maybe we undervalue. We don't really see them as such a big deal, but they are when you do try out other games, especially games like this. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna be playing this game for a long time coming in the future. There's nothing else on the market that I can think of. I follow another content creator who gives me reports about new games coming out. He also does videos on games when they shut down, and I'm actually really glad that I've dodged the bullet of avoiding games where they shut down. So yeah, I foresee Marvel Strike Force lasting for many years to come, and I have full confidence in Scopely to make this the best Marvel mobile gacha any game right now on the market. So definitely play with confidence. So I hope you enjoyed this list. Hope you have a great start to your new year. And as always, thank you for watching. This is Pio Pico signing out. I'll see you guys next time.